So moving swiftly along, we've got something really special lined up that I'm super excited to hear about. We're about to dive into the world of gifted education with a discussion that's all about tapping into the incredible potential of those brilliant young minds out there. So this next discussion is entitled Unleashing the Potential of Gifted Minds. And I would like to invite up our moderator, Pranav Sharma, founder of The Policy Tank. Let's put our hands together for Pranav. And then our panelists, Dr. Rose Susan Barty, Department Chair and Professor of the University of Central Florida, Mirjam Najjar, Specialist Giftedness and Differentiation, Mayas Pratik Betafit. And I did my best at pronouncing that, but once again, you can say it again with the proper pronunciation for everybody. Dr. Manakandin Kathifrel, Consultant HPB, Liver Transplant Surgeon and COO, Prep Medico. And Shalendra Dakard, CEO of Code Young. Can we please all put our hands together for our panelists and moderator of our next discussion? Over to you, Pranav. That's okay, it's already on, Pranav. If you just start talking, it'll magically go on.
Hello?
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Hey guys, how are you? How are you all? I guess you guys are not feeling tired? Okay. So, I would like to introduce our today's topic. Our today's topic is very interesting actually, on the lines of what we all are working, all four of us. The topic is unleashing the potential of gifted minds. So, I would like to introduce first of all of our panel members and my own self. So, starting from my own self, my name is Pranav Sharma, founder of the Policy Tank Foundation. We are working in the domain of public policy, working with the government of India, and apart from that, with international organizations on the topics like women health and hygiene, governance, climate change, investing into the students with universities and all. So that is what all about me, and I would like to pass on to Mariam then, if you can. Yeah.
Oh, it's not working.
It will work.
Yeah. I'm Mirjam Najjar, and I'm a specialist in gifted education. I have my own practice office, May's Practice Office Giftedness, and I was a teacher for more than 10 years, and now I'm specialized in gifted education. That's what I do. I go to schools and teach them about this topic, how to recognize these children. I coach the parents, the children, and now I want to bring over this topic all over the world because it's not very known, this topic. Yeah.
Then?
Hi everyone, and I'm Dr. Manikandan Kathirvel. I'm one of the consultant surgeons from the UK, but I am sitting here today as an educator rather than a surgeon. So I'm the COO of Prep Medico, an online training platform which predominantly functions in the UK, but we have learners from all the countries. What we do is do mentoring and guidance for very senior surgeons and physicians who like to excel in their medical profession by giving their fellowship and membership exams in the UK. So that's what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mani.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Shailendra. I run actually one of the largest private tutoring platform from India to the world. We are based in Bangalore. More than 20,000 kids globally we teach through one-on-one tutoring. And I think this topic is something very close to my heart personally. And we, being a one-on-one tutoring platform, actually play a big role in gifted child. So I'm really looking forward for the discussion.
Thank you guys for giving your introduction. So I will start So let's start. So when this topic actually came, the unleashing the potential of gifted minds. So while also representing our audience, what I thought of about this topic, like unleashing the potential of gifted minds, I guess this gifted mind terms is a very vague topic actually. So what I believe, because as I come from a public policy background, so what I thought of is like, is in every individual, we have a particular, potential, particular, trait, skill that with which we all are blessed. Like if I talk about my own self, I am a person who is very artistic in my own approach. As like I guess Shalinder is pretty good in the technology. You are Mani. You are there in the specialty in the medical. You are coaching, whole specialty in the coaching. Somebody, have their specialty in some other things, in environment or something like that. So we all are blessed with, some other, every sort of different skills, different sort of, what specialty. But when I actually, had a word with Mariam, so she was like, no, this topic is actually different. It is not like what you are thinking. So then she came up with this point that yes, this is the thing. What actually, there are some kids who are challenged, especially challenged from their mind, from the on the lines of emotional intelligence and what do you say? Educational intelligence, EQ and IQ, both. So if you can take up this thing and please explain what EQ and IQ, on what level this term means.
Yeah.
And what is the, what this topic conveys to tell.
Yeah. I will tell you a little bit about what is real, what the real meaning is of giftedness, and then we can discuss the questions. Because last year I also was here for another topic, and I noticed there was absolutely no knowledge about giftedness. Also, the people that I was talking to did not know about. So that's why this year I came back to include this topic, because there are many gifted children out there, also gifted adults that don't know they're gifted. So what is it? It's if you think giftedness, you think about a high IQ. The most people think there are smart people, just like Einstein, don't have problem, but that's none of it. IQ is a little part of it, yes. If we see science, that's they say if you have an IQ above 130, then you're gifted. But an IQ test is just a moment. If you don't feel well, you cannot see the potential of that child in a test. If you didn't sleep well or you have a cold, you will not have the same results. So giftedness, we look in Holland, we especially love to see the Delphi model. Delphi model looks at different ways of being gifted. It's like being in thinking, and it's a way of life. It's a part of your personality. They think deeper. They're highly sensitive. They have always questions in their mind. They say they're social emotional behind, but in fact they're very early in that development, especially in a young age. They can, how do you say that? Recognize emotions with others, take over emotions from others. They have an early development from babyhood. There are also signs that are common, like with ADHD and autism, and that's why many children are diagnosed with autism, but it's really a giftedness. So what's the difference? They have a creative mind. It's the creative part in their brain that is always on and have quick solutions for problems, out of the box ideas, out of the box problem solving. They quickly bored. They consciously want a challenge. And if the challenge is too complicated, they will leave it because they didn't learn how to learn. Because when they were young, everything went fast, the talking, the walking, the learning. And then when they go to high school or university or to their work or in their relationships and they face problems, they don't know how to deal with it. So they didn't get learning bits. So what is giftedness? It's a creative, deep thinking brain, highly sensitive, can really make quick connections between situations. They're very ambitious if they're interested. If the topic is not interesting, their mind is just, okay, what should I do now? And so that's very important to see at schools, because these children face very much problems. Many dropouts. In Holland, we have 33,000 children who are not going to school, dropouts, and a third of them are gifted. I also spoke today, someone from London, also many dropouts there. And there are a lot of gifted children. Why? Because the school system is not, adapting to their needs. They're not being recognized. It's not only about they need to excel. No, you need to compact and enrich their curriculum, especially that enrichment. So I want to ask you really to read about giftedness, especially search for the Delphi model, or the positive disintegration of Dabrowski. Also, you can read about giftedness in a way of being. It's something you are. So, and spread the word. Because I'm now going to Morocco and hear Dubai, because I see they don't know about this topic, and those kids are suffering, and the potential is not coming out. And yeah, they need really something. Just 2% of the population is gifted. So in school, you don't have peers. If just 2% of the population is gifted, at school you don't have peers to practice those social-emotional development. So these children also need peer contact, not age contact, no, peer contact with like-minded minds. Just here at this conference, I discovered 2 gifted adults just by talking and telling what the symptoms are. And maybe there's more. I see a lot of entrepreneurs are gifted because they are autonomous. They have creative ideas, and at work, it's not appreciated. Also, they always get heard, you're difficult, you're too criticism, you have too many criticizing points, you're too fast, you're too this, too that, too. And that is affecting the self-esteem of gifted persons. Me, myself also, I just discovered I'm gifted 4 years ago. And, no, I'm not getting emotional, but I always felt dumb. And all other gifted adults I speak to, they always felt dumb, even if they were clever. But you will always feel different, because there were no other people like you in the classroom. And people let you know you're different. It's not clever to be clever, because you're too critical. And, but we cannot stop that. It's a way of being. You always have questions in your mind. So in the classroom, I see many children who want to ask questions, and they're shut down by the teacher. No, why are you being like that? Don't ask, just do it. But they have questions after questions. And why do they have that? Because the mind wants to understand. When they understand, then they can leave it. So that's giftedness. I can talk about this the whole day, but it's, this is giftedness. So that's a whole nother level than what people think about that. So if you want to know more questions about what it is, then you can contact me.
Thank you, Mariam. Thanks a lot for letting all of us know about what actually this term meant. And coming back to you again, like I would firstly ask this question to Mr. Manikandan from the perspective of medical. Like, if you can tell us, like, how can healthcare system, in a better manner, how they can identify and support gifted individuals in medical and surgical training programs to foster innovation and excellence in patient care?
Yeah. As Mariam told, when I started researching on this topic, I actually thought what you were thinking of, like gifted minds, is someone who is working with us, who is gifted with some special skill. Say, for example, in medicine, someone might be very skillful in fine hand skills. So, okay, fine. So he is going to be a good surgeon. Someone would be very good in reading images. So he is, okay, fine. We can give him an opportunity to excel in the field of radiology. Someone would be very excellent in clinical examination. And so that is what I thought as giftedness. But having done a lot of research, although even coming from the medical background, having been in the medical training for so many years, my knowledge about what actually is giftedness changed a lot in the last maybe 2 weeks. Although Mariam says that it's only 2% of the population has giftedness, but I have been having a long conversation with her. To me, most of my colleagues, especially from an Indian background, because the pressure and the competitiveness we have in India to enter medicine is extremely high, and almost most of my colleagues who has shined in medicine, I think that, they are all gifted. That's what I feel. I might be wrong, but how I look into that is, yes, they are very strong in an area where they can learn, they can reproduce stuff, they can stretch their learning time and working time for 14 hours, 16 hours, extremely goal-oriented, but I could see plenty and plenty of my colleagues suffering from so-called anxiety disorder, so-called autistic. Suddenly an autism diagnosis of a partial or a mild kind of autism comes in. Suddenly an attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Everything comes in, as we go along our training in the medical career. Every one of us face extreme anxiety, and most of these diagnoses and stuff ends up in some kind of an anxiety disorder, something ending up taking anti-anxiety pills or antidepressant medications. But looking into this perspective, I feel that the concept of giftedness is largely undiagnosed, and it is a completely an ignorant topic, even in developed countries, I would say. And I think this is something which needs to be addressed as a childhood. I was just even discussing about the way it meets my kids and my kids' friends, their behaviors. And I doubt whether they all have some kind of a giftedness, and everyone needs support. So I think there should be a huge clarity on this. Now, coming back to your question. So how in a surgical or a medical training, how do we identify these people who are extremely skillful means I think the medical system or the medical training bodies or the system in any country has plenty of assessment tools as we come up from the undergraduate to post-graduation to super specialization. So it starts from your presence in the ward, how you deal with the patient. It starts from how technically you operate on a patient. And it also comes from how you speak to a patient. So based on all these things, obviously, the mentor or the teacher has plenty of opportunities to identify people or trainees who are very good in a particular aspect. So I know most of the surgeons, if you ask, why did you become a surgeon, including me, I would tell that I hate sitting and reading in books. I am so weak in studying and reproducing stuff and keep gathering so much of knowledge, which is very, very essential for physicians. But I feel and I felt that my prime skill is fine hand skill, so that's why I chose surgery. If you ask a radiologist, he will tell that, no, I cannot be with patients. I hate being with patients. I cannot be talking to them. I want a calm area where I can process my mind and I can evolve. So this is how I think we get the opportunity to identify gifted people in various areas. But the main problem is, of course, many of us know that who is strong in which area, but what happens after that is the biggest problem. The first thing is, majority of the time, the students or the trainees themselves won't come out and tell that, no, I'm feeling so hard in that field, I feel more comfortable here. That is one biggest hurdle which we have. The second important thing is the mentorship. Okay, now that I have identified this particular person is very skilled in this field, so as a mentor, as a teacher, as an educator, my role is I need to tell him, yes, this is your strongest area, these are the opportunities available. I think this area, it's lacking both from the candidate's perspective and from the mentor's perspective.
What do you think? Like, is it also because of the lack of acceptance when it comes to like these kids and the elderly people? Because see, it is not just for the kids, but it is also seen when it comes to society, the elder people. So yeah, in what sense? So
See,
in this sense,
I
what do
would
you
not
think?
say lack of acceptance. The problem is, especially in medicine, there are so many components involved in your training before you reach a particular area.
Yeah.
And from the best of my knowledge, none of my medical colleagues or someone will be open enough to tell that, no, I hate that.
But there is a sense of hesitation, right?
Absolutely, because
nobody-
we are all scared that whether our opportunities will go away. Okay, when we accept that, no, I don't know this, but I would like to do that, then obviously they feel, especially in the training part, obviously we are not given chance to speak much, telling that, okay, I'm not going to do this, I'll do only that, but at the same time, more and more you tell that you neglect a particular area, obviously your opportunities are coming down. That's what we feel. But again, it all roots to the concept that we really, to be honest, it's so much of ignorance on this area, and we all think that, okay, a particular person is good in surgery. We just look at the positive aspect of that. Okay, he's a genius and he's a master in surgery, but we don't look into the other aspect, which the candidate keeps within himself, and he suffers within himself. This is what I see.
Yeah, but okay, I'll ask this question to the same question to you, Shailendra, because see, when it came to this thing, that is, if what you said, 2% of people among the whole population, right, are challenged. The gifted, you can say.
Exactly.
So,
So I think
when it comes to-
we should clarify the concept that giftedness is not a kind of a disability or anything. It is not disability. It is not a psychiatric problem. It is not a psychological problem. It is the way your brain is designed.
True.
Yeah.
But see, when we also look this thing from the perspective of psychology as a discipline, so there are actually many aspects of this particular thing too. If you agree, this thing.
I think so, because as Mariam rightly mentioned, these candidates or these people, they cannot process things in a pace which a normal person does. A simple example being, you ask, say, if I am gifted, and say if 10 people are working under me, I would expect the fastness or the rapidity with which I process things with my colleagues. And I feel so frustrated, and I become so impatient when those people don't do as per my expectations. So this is one of a very simple real-time example.
And see, asking this question from the side of academician and from the side of policy maker, I would like to ask this thing from giving it an element of from the side of medical. And Shailendra, if you can also let me know how we can come up for a solution and look after for a solution from the side of technology. What are your point of view on this?
Sure.
Yeah, it is working.
Yeah. So I think, first of all, I'd like to bring...
It can be a bit loud, actually.
Yeah. So first of all, I'd like to build on some of the things that were said in this panel, even in the earlier panels. When we think about education, we think in terms of learning outcomes. And the whole aim of education is achieving those learning outcomes. But very few people actually see beyond that. Just like Sir said, somebody became a very good surgeon, but that's not enough. Really, we should look beyond it. And this is a particular topic where we are not talking about not achieving learning outcomes. In fact, these kids sometimes achieve those learning outcomes very early compared to others. So I'd like to give a bit background about myself. I grew up in north part of the country, India. I was academically good, but during my early years, I was a kid who was good in study, but was a backbencher. So I used to sit towards the back of the class, but I was the only one who was good there. My parents-teacher meetings used to be very confusing to me because all during the school I used to be scolded a lot by teachers. But when these parents-teachers meeting used to happen, I used to be praised a lot by these teachers that their child is doing really great. And I used to get confused. Like, are they angry on me or are they happy with me? But I never had a good relations with the teachers. I had a lot of respect with them, but I was never the favorite child there because I was very mischievous. Then, of course, during my end of the school, I actually went to IIT Delhi. So who are from India actually know how competitive it is. Just like sir again said about surgery, even getting into IIT is very competitive, and I met a lot of people who were like me, academically brilliant, but I saw that how differently they branch out in that stage of life. A lot of people, they were like topper of their states, top. Just imagine coming at first out of 3-4 lakh people who applied for the same exam, and then totally losing interest in studies and just failing for years and years. So I saw that how differently they branch out, how differently the personalities become. Some people become so isolated. Of course, some of them navigated really well, but there are many cases where they really face a lot of challenges which nobody sees. They just see that now he's become lazy, now he's become lazy. It's such an easy assessment. Somebody is anxious, you call it, just calm down, just chill. But that's not how it works. And this topic is so important because these people who face all this, they started feeling inadequate, and the kind of mindset they have, feeling inadequate, even feels worse to them than compared to anyone else. So I think this is very important that we connect these two. Like we talk about cyberbullying. Some people who get very quiet and very nerdy, they're very nerdy and become very quiet, they are the ones who get bullied. Some people, some of the gifted child who are very hyperactive, they are the ones who bully. It's all a lot related. I have seen people who were excellent in studies and then were the ones who actually, were kind of personality who will bully others. So this is a very important topic, and I think we should be talking more about it. Personally, it really was very enlightening. Second thing is, what are the solutions? So I'll tell you what worked for me, because I had a very chaotic childhood in that sense. Even the early college was very chaotic. But one thing that really gave a shift to me, because I was really struggling with my studies in last few years of my schools, not because I was finding it hard, but because I was finding it boring and pointless. But a teacher came in, and I'll come to like not an anecdotal answer, but I'll tell you how can we scale it. A teacher came in who actually understood what I was going through. Even though my marks were not good in that year, he made me sit down. His name was Ram Deshmukh. He made me sit down and told me, I'm teaching since 15 years and you are the best student I have found ever. And that was very encouraging because I was feeling like I'm fumbling. I'm just not doing anything. I'm not going anywhere. But he said this, and he said it with a lot of conviction. He said it to my parents. And then he took me under, and then he constantly guided me. He constantly guided through my anxiety or competitiveness or whatever it was. And I could channel and I was on a different path. Of course, it took many, many years. And today I see I'm in a good space in that sense. And later on, I also worked on a lot on emotional learning and how do you do well. So my answer to your question is, I think it takes a lot of understanding. Like you need just one person or two people, a few people actually to really understand you, that who reminds you that you are not inadequate. You are fine. In fact, you are actually very smart. But these challenges are there. It doesn't make you any less than anyone else. It's just that you have to deal with it. So a lot of people know that depression, talking about depression, like high IQ people are most prone to depression. This is a very well-known fact.
Yeah. Sorry for cutting you, but as you mentioned that there should be some person, to guide you on all these things. So I have this question. Any of you can, answer this thing, that what are some of the biggest challenges with gifted individuals face in pursuing their goals, and what steps can be taken to overcome of these obstacles?
Can
Mariam,
I have
if
a
you-
quick remark on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you asked about what? Sorry? Personal goals. How do you
Yeah,
achieve the
biggest obstacle which these gifted individuals face in pursuing their goals, and what steps can be taken to overcome these obstacles?
Sure. Sure. I think Miriam will take it, but or sir will take it, but just a last remark related to this, but just to complete that, a lot of people thought that I was very good in studies, got into IT Delhi, then started my company at 23 because I was getting bored at my job and not feeling like I'll do so much. I'm not being able to do enough as much as I would want to. I wanted to prove myself. That's why I started company early. People thought that my parents would be very happy with me, but that's not was the case. Only they know what they struggled. People used to think my partner or my friends would be very happy with me. They actually struggled a lot in the early years. So yeah, it's like you are very much misunderstood, and yeah, but it can be overcome, and eventually you can. But Miriam, you will take it up, and like to know more about you, about it from you.
No, it's good to know your perspective also
Yeah.
on this topic from your work area.
Yeah, because I guess all of us can go through with on
Yeah.
all these lines somehow in a short manner. So yeah.
Yes, for sure. You mentioned something about relationship. I want to say also about that something, because they were asking normal children, what do you need in a teacher? And they were asking gifted children. The normal children, they said teachers should be clear in instruction and have control over the classroom. And the gifted children said, we need the teacher to be honest and have a good relationship with us. So with these children, so they have other needs from the teacher also. So that's why it's very important to know this in education, that you really need to bond with them first, and then they get to education. It's really different from the other children. The problems that are facing is they don't know how to learn. They don't have learned strategies.
Yeah.
They do just everything on their knowledge. They
Yeah.
don't know how to learn. Like comprehensive, they just answer the questions on their knowledge. They're not reading in the text to get the answer.
Yeah.
And then they make quick faults.
Yeah.
The problems they have is also they feel different in the
Yeah.
classroom. I have a story from a little child, Nora. She's 4, she's going first time to school, and she sees children drawing and talking to each other. And then the teacher gave them how do you say it? A challenge to draw a banana.
Yeah.
And some of them were using different colors, and then they went to the teacher, and the teacher said, "Oh, good, that's
Yeah.
a good banana." It was blue. And then she
Yeah.
was thinking, huh? Is yellow still yellow? Is a banana
Yeah.
still banana? She was doubting herself, and that's what really a lot happens with gifted
Yeah.
children and gifted adults. They're thinking there's something wrong
Yeah.
with them because
Yeah.
they think differently. They have
Yeah.
another way of a different way of sense of humor. Other
Yeah.
people don't understand. They're going too fast. Like in a classroom, everyone's going 100 and you're going 130, and consciously the teacher is stopping you. Just sit down, just not questioning. That's our really problems they have.
So is it also like they do it because so that they want to increase their confidence levels, so they should not feel like that, yes, we are not that much capable enough of understanding things or something like that?
No, their brain just want to understand them,
Yeah.
and many of these children don't feel competent at all.
Yeah.
Because they want to do everything in one time. They don't want to pass through the
Okay.
learning pits. So you
Yeah.
need to give them more learning pits so they know how to face problems.
Yeah.
They need really enrichment in classrooms. Like the panel before said, instruction must be maximum 20 minutes.
Yeah.
For these children, really maximum 10 minutes.
Okay.
You really need to teach them the strategy, because they have strategies that are
Yeah.
not helpful. They do it on their own way, and it's not helpful in the university anymore. So really,
So I guess it
very-
differs person to person too.
No, like if one instruction for the whole classroom is
Yeah.
not good at all. If you have all different animals and you want to climb them in the tree,
Yeah.
how can you be expecting the fish to climb in
True,
the tree?
true, true.
But in a classroom, those children are still getting in the tree because they don't understand. The teacher is carrying them.
Yeah.
They give them materials, they give them videos
Yeah.
to understand. But those who are ahead, they
Yeah.
have to wait and sit,
Yeah.
and they get bored. So,
True.
like the monkey, that tree is
Yeah.
just boring. He wants the whole jungle.
True.
So you cannot expect the same level from
Yeah.
everyone. So your instruction must be, there must be differentiation included.
Yeah.
Differentiation is important in the classroom. And well, in Holland, we're way ahead with this. But I still see in some countries there's just one instruction for the whole classroom. That's not
Yeah.
possible at all.
And,
yeah.
and giving the flavor of inclusion to this particular topic and diversity, I would like to ask all three of you. All three of you can pass. Just let me complete now. Like, in what ways can businesses, educational institutions, and government collaborate to create an environment that encourages talented individuals to be creative, take risks, and develop innovative solutions today and tomorrow's challenges?
Yeah, I think just to complete the previous question, I think the biggest obstacle on helping these kids or adults is diagnosing that they have giftedness. I think with the way Mariam explained and the work she does in Holland, obviously it is fantastic that the country has a system. There is a separate group of people who are looking at these kids or adults, and they have various strategies to handle these kids. I think Mariam, I want Mariam to answer this, but how do we actually pick up these kids? How do we know that? Or the other question is, all these schools, how much information our traditional teachers have on these kids in identifying these problems?
Well, first of all, the teachers at kindergarten or preschool, they should be aware of this, because there it all starts. These children adapt in 1 week. Science says they adapt in 6 weeks, but they adapt in even the first day. If they see other children are acting differently, they think, oh, I'm wrong, I also have to do like this. So their potential is gone. You will not see it again. So the teachers at preschool, kindergarten must know about the signs of giftedness. It's like a different way of asking. If you see a 3-year-old asking about death and life and war, you should be thinking, this is some kind of different way of a child. It's there, these days, you see a child is very playful and running around. It has ADHD, but it's also a sign of giftedness. They have a lot of energy. They don't sleep well because the brain is always active. They have a lot of words. If you see them, use them, some words that are for adults, you should be awake. These kinds of children have more contact with children that are older than them or adults than age-level children. So if you see the child is continuously going to elder children in the playground, you should talk to the parents and ask them, how was your child as a baby? Because there are signs from babyhood that these children are different. So that is where it all starts, and please give them peer contact with level-minded brains, not their age, but level-minded brains, even if they're older or younger, but the same thinking level. That's very important.
So my question is, I think as parents, we should stop being happy when we see our kids performing well in the schools. Means, like when I see my daughter doing something fantastic, my next reaction is, oh, see my daughter, she's doing this and that. But now your response is making me feeling scared whether I should enjoy that moment or it is a red flag.
I guess it should be neutral enough so that, they should not get way more motivated and less more,
Well, I'm glad you're scared, because it's stimulating the fixed mindset of these children. Oh, you're good. Oh, you're smart. You're this, you're that. Then they think, oh, I always have to do like that. And they will get fear of success. You know, many people know only fear of failure. There's also fear of success. Many gifted people facing fear of success. And to have a growth mindset, especially these children, because if they don't know something, they will not try it.
True.
They will don't even begin with it.
Yeah.
When you see they're doing something good, oh, I see you're making effort on that, or you did your best. You make the process, the effort, more important than the result. That is very important for these children. And
True.
I want to also tell, gifted children are not highly gifted at everything and high scores. There are many underachievers.
Yeah.
There are most of the gifted children end without diploma.
Yeah.
Most gifted children, in Holland especially, end without diploma because the school system is not adapting for them. They think they're just stupid and they can't learn. So you should read Bright Minds, Poor Grades. There are 6 types of underachievers in gifted children.
Nice.
Mark on this.
I guess we are running short of
But
time, but
I
I
think we
know
can-
the time is very less, but in concluding remarks, if we can, conclude this topic.
You can finish
So
and then we
yeah,
can
yeah.
have the
Sure.
questions.
I'll just have a remark
Yeah,
on
sure.
this. It's very important, I
And
think.
then we can, yeah.
So I'll say one of the things that they said, I'll build on that only. But when you're in a classroom, if you're a teacher, I think having that bond with the students. Of course, in a big classroom, it's not possible, but having that empathy. In schools where in India, I'll tell you, and at my time, I'm born in 96, so at that time possibly, that we are very quick to judge kids. We should not do that. If they are good in studies, bad in studies, you should see the other talents. If they are good in studies and not behaving properly in the class, so this empathy should be there. So at Codian, because we are in one-on-one tutoring, there are few big things which are very important that we train our teachers on. One is that from the day one, we have made sure that teacher have to make sure that kids should want to come in the next class. You have to have that kind of bond. And I think I could come out of it because I had that bond with the teacher.
Yeah.
So this bond has to be there, that empathy has to be there towards your faults and towards your gifts. Second thing which is very important, which Mariam really rightly said, that is about growth mindset, which also we train on. But that still is not very relevant to this. But one thing, that having that empathy, just whenever you see a behavior in a kid which is not as per the expectation, just do not fit in the mold. Just look at it with kindness, with empathy, and just talk to that kid. And you will find your answers if you make that kid your friend. And I think it's very important to make that kid your friend.
True.
That's what I'll say, and that's why what we are doing at scale today.
And I guess everyone goes also through this thing. And yes, thanks a lot, all 3 of you here, letting us explain all these things. And I would like to ask if somebody has any questions to ask from us. So yeah, please.
Right, is it open? Great. So lots of insightful discussion there. I'm actually not worried about monkeys of the classroom while we're teaching climbing trees. I'm worried about the fishes that we never realize until they appear for the examinations. So everyone talks about having personalized curriculum for those students. I want to know how practical does that sound to you? When you have 30, maybe 40. If we talk about India, you have about 60 students in one classroom, and that is a lot. Talking about empathy, you never get a chance to speak to all the students on, maybe it's over like 2 weeks when you get a chance to speak to all of the students there. That makes it hard for a lot of students there. What do you say on this?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your question. You have big classrooms, I think. In Holland, we just have maximum 34. How we do it is we give the main instruction for 10 minutes. Then we give them the exercises. Then we get the children who needs more instruction, they don't understand. You call them to the table. That's a little group. You give them 5 minutes extra instruction with materials, with video, with etc. Then you get them to work. And then you call the gifted children and explain what they're gonna do. They have another exercise. They don't have the same exercises as the rest. So you're giving 3 instructions about the same topic, but 3 different levels. And that's hard working. But that's your job as a teacher, because they don't deserve to get all the same. So if you have a classroom more than 35, at least give a short instruction with important things, and then give the differentiation in the exercises. And if they have questions, they can come to you. That there should be time for asking questions, because I see also many teachers are giving like a complicated exercise for these children. Here, you go to the hallway and do this on your own. And then these children think, okay, the teacher thinks I can do this, I have a question I don't understand, but I feel too stupid to ask, so I will not ask. And then the teacher says, well, is he gifted? He does not make this. So everyone needs instruction, also the gifted children, but on another level.
But
so we are always in Holland, like primary school, there's one teacher for every classroom. She or he is giving instructions the whole day, like math, 3 times. English 3 times, Dutch 3 times. So you're continuously giving instruction, first for the whole group, then for me myself, when I was a teacher, I was doing differently, because the gifted children need to wait. They don't like waiting. They want to start already. So if I finish the 10 minutes for the whole classroom, I called the gifted children, just 2 minutes. I explained to them what they should do, give them enrichment. You can start, and then I would call the children who don't understand.
But I guess I want to put
So
this
it's
point
how
up
do you
in
deal
the
with your
respect
time?
but in the respect of India, I guess I want to put this point up because in India, apart from traditional colleges, right now in liberal arts colleges, we don't have enough amount, like a larger chunk of students in our classes. There, like the strength somewhere lies up around about 30 students or like 20 students. We are more focusing upon output based education, so that everyone should and contribute to the classes and all, not based upon the textual learning, but practical based learning. So that is how we are actually now bringing up reforms from the side of liberal arts colleges. So we are although on the lines of this, but yes, we are now also giving a recommendation to government so that they can apply the same system into other traditional colleges too. So I guess then this problem will not be there.
To answer to the same, of course, in India it is so very difficult to bring in any change with the demand we have between the kids and the teachers. I think it should be a multifaceted approach. The first key thing is obviously we need to pick up these kids. And this picking up of kids, I think we should not expect that this should happen only in the school, because again, if you see, there are various curriculums where is one particular curriculum where a teacher comes to a class from morning to evening, the same teacher stays. There is a different curriculum where you have 8 teachers coming on the same day with different hours, okay? So the interaction between the kids and the teacher varies a lot between different curriculums. So obviously the first thing is, as I told, identifying these kids. I think there should be a spread of knowledge on this with the focus on the parents first. The parents should be the first person to pick up whether the kid might have this giftedness. That should be the first thing. And once the parents does that, obviously they can approach the school, or obviously they can approach someone who is specialized in that to make sure that the kid has the problem. Or I would not say the problem, or because as she rightly told me, we should not brand it as a problem, okay? Has giftedness or not. And then obviously, when we have a certain problem, we know that how to deal with this, whether you go to a government school or a private sector or an additional aided schools or whatever it is. I think the government should come out, they should come up with what is this giftedness. We should have knowledge which is spread on this. The parents should be aware of something called this, and most importantly, I think we ourselves create a huge amount of risk factors for these kids to acquire this giftedness also, because the parents are, pressurized by so much of peers looking at them, asking me, pushing their kids to achieve this. They don't worry whether, they don't see how the kids reach there, but what they need is the kid should reach there, that's all. They don't see what is happening in between. I think this culture is still there. I would say 80 or 90% of the kids, especially in countries like India, where obviously education is the only, property or something where a kid can have. And in many families, only if you're educated, you're going to run the family. Unlike other developed countries where whether means you are supported in your education, and even if you don't do education, there is a lot of other ways the government can support. But in countries like India, where we are so much dependent on what level of education we are in, I think it is so very crucial, and I think there is a huge population who might be affected by this problem, and I think this is the right time and it's the right place where we have discussed such a topic, we all take it and see, because it's a very, very new topic and a new area for me to explore.
I guess our host will not eat us up and no, don't throw us off all of us.
Can I just
what was
end
the
with
one last question?
One more question.
Yes, then we can conclude.
End with one sentence after the question.
Cool. Thank you so much for this discussion. It's actually been very eye-opening. I was sitting in the crowd, like, literally diagnosing myself. I'm like, oh, wait, could I be gifted? Now, my question is, right, within gifted students and identifying gifted students, right, is the strength in, or the golden, is the gold in finding them, or rather, let me rephrase this, is the strength in the gifted child, is it in self-awareness or practice? That's one thing. And then the second thing is that with what you've seen, specifically to Miriam, is like with the gifted children, right? Is it, do they work more on self-motivation or is it external motivation? This is a personal question and just trying to understand as well.
Thank you. The first thing they need to know about self-awareness, they need to understand themselves why they are like that, because you don't have it, it's not a disease, you are gifted, you're born like that, it's something of your personality. But if you don't know, you will always feel different, stupid. They're really afraid to ask things because they think I should know everything. So the children, they come to me and I teach them about what it is normal for your behavior, and they think, oh wow, it's normal, it's a part of me, and then you can develop as a normal and happy person. Most of the gifted adults that discover now that are gifted, they all say, oh, why didn't I knew that when I was young, because now I had many coaches, many medicines for sleeping, depressive, because they always feel not good, not worthy. Even if they have successes, they don't feel it. So that's why this topic should be aware for the children, but also for the parents, because some people think, oh, you have a gifted child, you have it easy. He scores best, he's good at everything. And even in Holland, even we know everything in Holland about this topic, people without gifted children say, oh, you have it easy, you have gifted children. You know, the upbringing of these children is very difficult because they're very intense in fear, intense in happiness, intense in asking questions. Those parents are with their hands in their hair if they come to me. It's very difficult. So, everyone should know about this because, if you understand them, they feel seen and understand, and most of the problems will be gone.
But I guess more than self-awareness, we should aware them and their parents so that then they should, let these kids aware about themselves that yes, they are actually gifted.
Yeah,
so
and about motivation, it's like with every child. External motivation is just short time. They need to be inspired. Inspiration is for a long time. So these children are motivated if they have interested for the topic. So you must inspire them to get interest for the topic.
So I guess we did the justice with the topic, unleashing the potential of gifted minds, and I guess we you know, yes, we changed all of our perception about this particular topic, gifted minds. So yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for listening to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.